All right, guys, so today we have the all-new ICEMULE Boss backpack cooler, and we're going to be doing a full review on it. They're making some pretty serious claims about this cooler, like it's one of the best backpack coolers on the market. It's 100% waterproof, which I'm just not sure about. We are definitely going to test that. Supposedly this thing will keep ice for days, and it has a 3-year warranty. So let's get into all of the amazing stuff that this cooler has to offer and see if this is the best cooler and see if it's right for you. And we're getting into it right now. Let's go throw this thing in the pool. So one of the main reasons why I bought this backpack and I thought it would be really awesome is it has 1, 2, 3 supposedly 100% waterproof pockets. So why is that important? Why did I want that? So if I'm out at a theme park, if I'm going camping, if I'm at the springs, anything like that, it's kind of nice that I can put my wallet, my keys, stuff that I 100% cannot have get wet into these dry pockets. So maybe you're going to be out paddleboarding and you want to take all your stuff with you, you want to take some drinks with you. This is kind of perfect for that situation. Even if you fell into the water off a paddleboard, supposedly this is going to be waterproof. Now, I have the pool behind me. We're going to check and see if this is waterproof. I'm going to put some important documents and some money and some other cool stuff in here. And we're going to see if it actually, in fact, stays dry. So they say it will. They say it's 100% waterproof, but they say a lot of things. So I've got 10 cans in here. I've got 4 20-ounce bottles of Gatorade in here and 10 pounds of ice. So if cooler's not 100% full, but it's pretty full, should be heavy enough. So let's get this thing sealed up, get it in the pool, see how things go. I'll pretty much guarantee you nobody is doing a review like this. Nobody is testing these items like this before they let you guys know what they think. So supposedly this cooler is 100% waterproof. We're gonna find out right now. Hopefully all of our stuff that we put in here is safe. Now, like I said, I'm sure ICEMULE is not gonna be super happy with me submerging their backpack to check the waterproofness of it, but it's just how we do reviews here. All right, it's been under there a while. Well, it's a moment of truth. Let's see how this did. So first we'll go ahead and open up this top part here. All right. Show you guys with the GoPro. So yeah, I mean, there's ice in here. I don't see water sloshing around from the pool, so that's a good sign. Let's check these other pockets. So now we've got this, let me set the GoPro down. I have this side zip pocket first. We'll go into that one. Okay. Money is 100% dry. You can see at the bottom of that pocket there is no water at that pocket. So, and that's completely submerged underwater for 30 seconds or so. Let's check this document I put in here, because like I said, if Nikki finds out that I use this, she'll be unhappy. Okay. Completely dry, not a drop of water on this. Perfectly dry. Let's see what else we got in here. Let's open this all the way up. And get the GoPro in there. No water anywhere. Perfectly dry. Let's see if there's any water in the bottom of there. Oh, now this one you can see there is a tiny, tiny bit of water in the very bottom of this. Just a little though. It's pretty dang good. So all the pockets were completely dry. This one pocket over here had just a tiny bit of water in it. And that's after being submerged for around 30 seconds. Completely submerged in the water. Now this backpack cooler does float, so to submerge it, you'd really have to do something wrong. So like I said, like if you were on a paddleboard and you fell off the paddleboard, I would assume that if you were wearing this backpack, you would go under with the backpack for just a few seconds. It is gonna float you back to the top, which is kind of nice. But you know, I don't think there's a lot of circumstances where this backpack's gonna be underwater for 30 seconds. As you guys can see, being underwater for 30 seconds, the backpack was still what I consider perfectly dry. So that's pretty amazing, honestly. So some of the other features on this, 3-year warranty, guys. So why does that matter? Well, a lot of other companies, when you look at their warranties, they're gonna give you a year warranty. And that's fine, but stuff fails after a year, right? So a year and a half, 2 years down the road, that's when stuff's gonna fail. I have actually dealt with ICEMULE's customer service before, and they have been fantastic. I've dealt with some of the other companies' customer service before. I don't want to mention any names, Ingle, but their customer service has A, been very difficult to get a hold of anybody, and B, they just were not very helpful. So another thing that I actually really love about this cooler, and I thought I was not gonna love this, I thought I was really gonna hate it about this cooler. So the fact that this cooler has no zipper up here is kind of a good selling point for me, honestly. So like I said, I didn't think I was gonna like that, but I actually kind of like the fact that there isn't a zipper on the top of this. There's a couple reasons why. So one of the reasons why is when you have a zipper up here, obviously you have to try to get into the zipper all the time. 90% of the time, the ones that have the zippers up there, they don't open as wide as this. So I kind of like that. And then the very last reason is zippers on backpack coolers or any cooler, any soft-sided cooler really, is a huge failure point. So that's more than likely where they're gonna fail, and that's exactly why most of the other cooler companies are only gonna give you a year, because what's gonna fail on that cooler is the zipper, and they don't wanna warranty it past that year, and they know that it'll be about 2 years or so, year and a half-ish, before that fails. So if anything fails on this, they're gonna take care of it for 3 years, which is a lot better than a lot of other cooler companies out there. Like I said, if you guys don't believe me, just go look at the reviews, look at the specs on the other cooler company sites. They will tell you that they give you a year on most of them. All right, so sticking with the zipper theme here. So this is an Ingle soft-sided cooler, and we've had this actually for a while. And one of the reasons why I am kind of turned off by zippers is we've only had this about a year and a half, and the zipper on this has completely rotted away from the cooler. And what happens here is this is where they put the rubberized coating to make these waterproof, and this is where the zipper fails. So I called Ingle, I talked to them, I gave them a few opportunities to try to make this right, and they could not do that. So pretty disappointed to spend the kind of money that you would spend on a cooler like this and have the zippers completely fail in less than 2 years, and then basically now you're stuck with just a bag that won't seal and it's just junk. All right, so let's talk about who this backpack cooler is going to appeal to the most. So for us, we do a lot of stuff outdoors, and we're at theme parks a lot, and we're just kind of traveling a lot. And this thing is amazing, right? So I can throw some drinks for me and Ethan and Nicole in there, throw some ice in there, maybe some little snacks like applesauce, stuff like that. You throw it all in the backpack cooler, and then depending on where I'm at, I can throw all of my expensive stuff that like I can't afford to get wet into the waterproof pockets and walk about like nothing matters. So maybe you're at a theme park and you get stuck in a torrential downpour. You can be assured that this backpack is gonna stay 100% dry, which is amazing. Maybe like us, you go camping, you're going to the springs. We actually had this at the springs. So we actually recently had this backpack cooler floating around at Gilcrest Springs, and we had it floating around for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and no water came in it. All of our stuff stayed dry. We had a great place to put our cameras and our keys and everybody's stuff. It was honestly pretty remarkable. And you still have a beautiful spot while you're swimming around in the springs to pull out cold drinks, which is great. So this is really going to appeal to people that are, like I said, camping, theme parks. This is beautiful for theme parks. You put all your stuff in here and then you just throw this thing on like a backpack and carry it around. Carried this bag around completely loaded for around 6.5 hours. So I wanted to make sure before I recommended it that I was comfortable with it. So we have a bunch of different backpack coolers. I actually have a brand new Engel backpack cooler. We have an Igloo backpack cooler, Ozark Trail backpack cooler, and then I have 2 ICEMULE backpack coolers that we've also put up against this. And this thing is one of the most comfortable backpacks that I've ever put on, especially when you're talking about putting a lot of weight. You can imagine how much 24 cans is going to weigh along with 10 pounds of ice. It's going to be pretty heavy. So to have something that's super, super, like almost feels like it's not there, is just kind of beautiful. You know what I mean? There are a couple cons, and I'm going to go over that right now. So one of the things that I can say that I'm 100% not super, super thrilled with is the price. These are not cheap backpacks. They're on point with some of the other high-end backpacks. But, you know, $300 for a backpack cooler is a lot of money for anyone to spend. But when you're looking at that money, is it worth it? And in my opinion, yeah. So if you're gonna spend, let's say $100 on an Engel backpack cooler, and they only give you a 1-year warranty with it, and you have to replace that every year because the zippers fall off of it, well, now you're into it for $300. So you've spent the same money that you were gonna spend on this, but you're getting a much better cooler. You're getting a waterproof cooler, which a lot of the other ones are not. The zippers are definitely better on this, and the ice retention on it, I'm already just gonna give you guys a little spoiler, but the ice retention on this is amazing. And we are gonna go into that too, because I've seen a lot of reviews on YouTube on this backpack, and none of them went over ice retention and how long it'll hold ice for. So in my opinion, when you're reviewing a cooler, if it won't hold ice, then it ain't worth nothing. So I wanted to make sure that it would hold ice for at least a few days. I wanna see at least 2 days on a backpack cooler. So I'm gonna show you guys that, and we'll get into that too. So cons, like I said, price. Yeah, it's expensive. So that is definitely a con. If you're looking for something cheap, this isn't it, but you definitely get what you pay for, and I'm a firm believer in that. So I have bought a lot of cheap stuff before in my life, as I'm sure a lot of you guys have, and most of the times it does not pay off to buy the cheaper items. The more expensive items a lot of times do hold up. Now, it doesn't always work out like that. I can tell you that I'm very disappointed in the almost $300 Engel backpack that I bought, that the zippers rotted off of it in a year and a half. That is definitely not a good example of when spending a little more money pays off. I can tell you that for sure. So one other con that I don't like 100% about this backpack cooler, and for me, it's not a big issue, but for Nikki and some other people, this might be a problem. So if you can tell, when you have this thing up like this, it's a pretty long way down to the bottom of this cooler. So you have to have kind of a good reach to get to the bottom of this cooler and get your stuff out. So that's actually, you know, one con that isn't going to apply to everybody, but I did want to mention it that, yeah, it is a pretty big reach. One last thing that it's not really a con, but it's something that you may want to know about. The waterproof zippers on this bag are pretty difficult to open. Now they're waterproof, so they're gonna be difficult to open, and they do give you zipper lube that you should use and does make it work 100% better, but the zippers are a little tough to get open and closed. They're not super, super easy, but they do a remarkable job, as you guys can see from us dunking this backpack for over 30 seconds in a pool. So I can't really say that's a con. It's just something that you may wanna know about. All right, so in closing, I think this backpack is definitely worth the money. I think it's definitely a good value, and I think it's a good buy. If you're looking for probably arguably the best backpack cooler on the market, then this is it. The ICEMULE Boss has been literally the best backpack cooler that we've tested, and we've put them through their paces. I mean, we've done stuff that nobody else that you're gonna see on a review video is going to do. So we are very confident in saying that this backpack cooler will do the things that ICEMULE says it will do. So if you're looking for a cooler that's gonna hold up for years to come and hold ice remarkably well and be waterproof and also float, which is amazing, definitely a great selling point that you can load this thing down and it will still float, then look no further, you guys have found it. So like I said, price-wise, it's not the cheapest cooler, but it is very good value for the money. And if you're looking at this between, like, let's say, you know, the other one with like the frozen Sasquatch guy on it, starts with a Y. Anyway, I can't remember the name now, but they're really, really overpriced, not that great coolers. Those ones, I would definitely buy an ICEMULE before I bought one of those coolers. I'm just not a big fan of some of the stuff they're doing, and they don't have a lot of waterproof pockets on those coolers. So in my mind, for the money, this cooler definitely beats out all of the other coolers that we've looked at. This thing is absolutely amazing. I will leave a link in the description below. You guys can check this out. If you found this video helpful at all, please hit that like button for me. Also consider subscribing. We do a lot of really good reviews here, and we're also going to be giving away a backpack cooler here pretty soon. So if you're interested in winning a backpack cooler, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that video, and we will see you guys on the next one. That's all I got for you. So let's throw some ice in these coolers, check on them every hour, and see which one holds ice the longest. So because I don't think it's necessary to show you guys every single hour when I check on these, we're gonna just fast forward this video a little bit, and I'll show you guys what it looks like tomorrow. That way you can see how much ice it's actually lost each cooler. All right, so getting a little bit of water in the bottom there. You can see a little bit of water. Still holding ice pretty good though. Let's see what we got in the boss. Maybe a little tiny bit of water on the bottom, so seems to be holding ice a little better than the Igloo. We got ice. Quite a bit of water, but yeah, there's still definitely some ice in there. Now the ICEMULE. Pop the clip on that. Roll this bad boy. Still plenty of ice. There is definitely some water in there. So I would actually say they're pretty close as far as how much ice they have left. I don't think there's a huge difference between the Igloo and the ICEMULE about how much physical ice they have left in the cooler.
All right, well, Ian's off to work, so I am going to finish showing you guys what the ice looks like. This is the boss. Mule. This thing still has ice. Still got ice. And it was also sitting in a hot trailer. The last portion. So that one held up pretty good. And we got... Pardon the mess, we're going camping. I just opened this, and this was the Igloo. And there's no ice left. The water is very cold.